Hi, you're watching The Tattooed Psychic. Thank you for watching. It's morning here and I'm having my morning coffee. So I got up this morning really early because, as you know, the universe is kind of in this really cool spot right now. And it's really downloading with people who are open to it. And I'm very open to it. And Spirit got me up this morning. I've already recorded a podcast. So I have a podcast on Spotify. It's called The Tattooed Psychic, and I do different stuff on there. Sometimes I don't like being in front of the camera. I'm still working on that. And I'm also having technical difficulties with the camera I purchased to use. So I'm using my desktop camera, and I apologize if it's not coming out great, but this is what it is for now until I figure this out. I am not a technology person. I am a spiritual person. So it gets hard sometimes. But I get up in the morning and I start thinking about spirit, and I don't want to lose my... I don't want to self-sabotage. And if you've been watching my YouTube or listening to my podcast, you know that I... talk a lot about when you're healing, sometimes you go back into self-sabotage when things are going great, because that is what the vibration you're used to. And so we have to go into brain work and cellular work to get really done with the healing, you know. That's what I've learned, right? Do what you need to do, but a lot of people are having trouble, including myself. I was having a hard time figuring out why I couldn't master the... I'm sorry I keep looking out, but I live in a place where every morning hundreds of crows go to their destinations because they live over that way, and every morning they come this way. And so I look in the sky every morning, and I get crow energy, and I have them on my neck. Very much a crow power animals. So I look at them and I kind of soak up their energy as they fly. But back on track. I couldn't figure out how I wanted to manifest and how it worked, really, because I would do what they say, you know, think about it, do your vision boards, yada yada yada, and it never really worked for me. I mean, in some aspects, I guess sometimes you have to be careful what you ask for as well. And it wasn't working for me. And then I realized it was all the trauma I had and that I had not dealt with, that I became numb and angry and bitter. And yeah, that's what I realized. So I realized, and Spirit kind of told me and guided me on the direction I needed to take, which was reprogramming my brain, reprogramming my cells, and understanding more how I work as a human being. Not a spiritual being. I got my psychic medium stuff. I know that stuff in like the better than anything else I know is how to read people. There's nothing I do better, and that's the God's honest truth. But the thing I didn't know was how to love my human life, love myself, forgive people who hurt me. I mean, I've done some shitty things. People have done a lot of shitty things to me. I became a victim of my environment. I was living like a victim, and that's why these things were happening. And I had to learn how to understand that. Learn to understand that the power of manifestation takes time, and it's a practice just like anything, you know. I always tell people, you know, they want to be psychic right away, or they want to, you know, do this stuff right away. I go, everything takes time, right? Everything you want to master takes time. It doesn't necessarily happen overnight. Some people are born where they can master stuff. My son can pick up an instrument and master it in like hours or just days, you know. I could never do that. And my son is extremely talented on so many levels, a pure artist. I remember when he was 9 years old. I'm just going to sidetrack for a minute because I love telling this story because it's so funny. My son was 9 years old, and I put him in soccer because I was a single mom, and I thought, oh, I have a son, I have to put him in, you know, sports, you know. And I remember it was about the third game, maybe. He comes up to me, a bead of sweat coming down his face, hands on hip, one hand on hip. Mother, I am not a sports guy. I am an artist. And I went, okay. Never put him in sports again. And he is a pure artist on every aspect. And with food, with pen and paper, with paint, with gardening, with music, everything. He's an art. He's art. And so am I. You know, I don't know where this artist. My mother was an artist when she was younger, and my grandmother told me, I think it was her brother or uncle was an artist, but we are artists in our family, some of us. And my cousins are pure artists. Their mother is an artist, but she's not my blood, their mother. She's just my aunt, married to my uncle, but they got both the artist genes. But yeah, so here we are. Where was I going? Oh yeah, so I got up early this morning, and I did a podcast, and the podcast was kind of interesting because I was talking about my the day I almost died, right? And I had to stop it a few times, and I don't like talking about that day, but I had to for whatever reason. Spirit wanted me to because someone needed to hear it. You know, sometimes people are in abusive situations and they're not aware of it. And they need to hear a survival story to understand that there is light at the end of a tunnel, at the end of an abusive situation. So I did that. And then Spirit wanted me to, and said, make a YouTube. And I'm like, oh, my camera's not working. I can't do that. They're like, use the desktop. So here I am. They want me to draw some cards because some people are going through some stuff right now. And it's okay. And I don't really dress up. You know, there are, I want to say, because I just kind of threw this on because I was like, Spirit, it's early in the morning. I just woke up. I need to do podcasts, not YouTube. And they're like, Faye, you don't have to be like everyone else, right? There's this, one of my favorite YouTube channels is Dove and Serpent Tarot. And I would suggest you go watch this guy. He's really awesome. They're really awesome people. And he's always dressed so nice. And he's just awesome. And his voice is so soothing. And he does excellent readings. Give him a little plug there. I like to support people because some people, you know, they want to know what I do or who I listen to. And I don't actually go, I'm shuffling my cards. I don't really actually go to a lot of different healers, and I don't really go to a lot of different I don't see anyone really. I go on YouTube and I find the people I like and I watch them, and he's just one of them. But you know, I'm just that way. I find someone I like and I'm like, okay, I resonate, and I vibe off them for a while. So and so people are going through some things, and I just thought, well, maybe I'll pull some cards. I've had some people email me for readings, and thank you so much. I appreciate people contacting me and trusting me in Spirit. But also, and people are really seeking, like they want their life purpose, right? And isn't that a big question? Like, what is my life purpose? Well, let me tell you. The best way to sum it up is your life purpose is to live, mamas and papas. Your life purpose is to have the most experiences that grow your spirit and your person, you know what I mean? And to learn and to give love, and to yourself give love, and rock your power. But you know, and everyone thinks, oh, is my, you know, what is, like they have a certain job, and it's so, everyone's life purpose is a little different because everyone does those things differently, you know? And in different ways. You know, some people heal through their food. Some people heal through just their presence, you know, because they're a light in a world of dark. Some people heal through laughter. You know, some people heal through art. Some people heal through physical activities, boxing. When I was doing a lot of healing, I had to box a lot around my childhood. I took up kickboxing. It was awesome. And yeah, so it's whatever works. And if you're going through stuff, I mean, don't try to seek the answer. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me this. Spirit says that they don't want you to like go running, what's my life purpose, and then live in that forever, always seeking like some miracle's going to happen, like the Virgin Mary's going to pop on down and say, here, you know, that doesn't happen, man. Your life purpose is for you to unveil, for you to discover, for you to find. But the bottom line is to love. It's crazy that people don't understand that, is to be kind and loving and help people when you can. That's the point. Accept people for who they are, right? As long as they're not hurting people, right? We have to really get a grip, especially in this country, the United States of America. We have to get a grip on being nicer to each other on social media, and I catch myself too, I'm like, oh my God, you know, and as I'm growing and learning what effect that has in the world, I'm trying to stop it, you know, but it's, you know, again, these are habits we develop. We are what we allow our environment to be, and if you watch my or listen to my podcast, I talk a lot about my trauma and all that, and how it affects us, all of us. Our negative words, our negative thinking, it affects all of us. It's crazy. And that's why so many people go nuts. Because we're all just like lost. And we gotta bring it back, man. Bring it back to the source. Bring it back to the center. Bring it back to the, hold on, what's my role here? What do I have to heal to see what the purpose is? Right? Because let's get real, we're all a little fucked up. Shit. I don't care how spiritual you get, you're a little messed up. Can't help it. Oh, a card just flew out. Now, I watched some tarot readers on YouTube and they don't take the cards, but this card was drawn the other day. This is who we're working with right now. El Mora. Oh, this one doesn't zoom in like my other camera. So this is about awakening presence. Right? The opportunities are there. Just go with the universe, right? Awaken that inner self and know that you are such a part of something bigger. And I know it sounds crazy to people, right? You guys, I am such a skeptic. Ask anyone that knows me deep. Like I work science and spirit, and I know scientists hate that to say that, right? But really, when you think about it, spirit is energy, right? And science is energy. So that's a whole nother show, a whole nother thing. But I work that way. I have to have proof. I have to understand it. I studied energy for 13 years to understand how it works. How I can read people so well, you guys. From energy. And we're all connected. Plus I'm an empath, you know. When I read someone, what I do is I don't ask any questions. I just say, look, you can ask questions later. Let me just dive in and see what Spirit wants to show me. And who I get to know first is your spirit, right? I don't get to know your human self right away. I go in and like, what is this spirit going through? What do we need to get out of here for this person to have a better life? And that's how I read, right? And but in order to do that, I have to be an empath. I mean, you have to feel everything. And I feel everything in someone's life, and that's how I heal it. I mean, and that's how some healers work. Other healers work by Reiki, other healers work through tarot, other healers work through, I don't know what else because my mind is somewhere else, but yeah. So find through food, like I said, through teaching, through whatever, right? Just, it is what it is. And I have so many people say, oh, I wish I could read like you. No, you don't. It's not as glamorous as you might think. You see a lot of shit. Okay, so you have to be thick-skinned and hollow-boned, and that's what I am. A lot of other healers call me hollow bones. Okay, here we go. Saint Germain, here we go. He's one of my favorites. I actually have my friend in Austin, Texas works with Saint Germain. The color is purple, so if you're drawn to purple, if you're drawn to blue right now, this is it. I'm really drawn to blue right now, and purple is starting to pop in my life again. I'm drawn to certain colors sometimes, but blue, if you look around, I have a lot of blue right now. Karma releasing. Now, I talk about karma sometimes and how I'm not a believer. And I think I want to reiterate that I am not a believer in the way some people look at karma, where it's like, oh, if you do good things will happen to you. I don't believe that, because I know a lot of people who do good things, including myself, and a lot of shitty things have happened. I think that karma is a little deeper. Move through, okay, that's what it means. Thank you. Sorry, Spirit was talking to me. This is a time where we need to move through that energy that is keeping us from moving forward. This is a time where we need to stop looking at the past and going, what if, what did I do? And blaming myself and victimizing and self-sabotage and talking negative. Oh, my life sucks. Oh, I have to go to work. People are mean to me. If your life sucks and you hate your job, get out. That's what I had to do. Oh my God, you guys, I was working for these people. This was recent. I was working for a city job. Let's just say that. And everyone was, and in the beginning it was great. Because I was a temp, right? As soon as I became an employee, I got to see what was really going on, and it was really shady and really sketchy and shady. And I remember I had to go in front of like, I can't even remember, human resources and stuff. And I remember they walked in and it was like demons. I could see the demons on these people. And the guy that I was like, you know what, I want to have a meeting because you're not talking to me right. All of a sudden he was a different person, right? He was just, it was like night and day. When he was alone with me, he treated me one way. When he was in front of everyone else, he was just like, oh, hey, Mr. Nice Guy. He had one arm, I'm Mr. Nice Guy. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, you are demonic. And I realized I had to get out of there. It was crazy. And the way they treated the senior citizens was horrible. They would leave them with their, ceiling pipes open, and these people could barely speak English. It was horrible. It was horrible. And so I left. And they say they let me go, but I already had a job lined up. And honestly, I was just staying there to help the residents and for until that Friday, and then I was going to leave. Because I already had another job, but I was there for the residents and they weren't. That's the bottom line, and so I had to leave. But and I got a better place. I mean, I so much more blessed in my current situation. But sometimes you just have to leave, right? And know that if you leave a demonic situation where you're working with nothing but evil people, you have to get out of there. And if they're making you feel like shit about yourself, just leave. Because you know what? If you believe in yourself, something better did. I have a job now where these people treat me better, honestly, than my own family. I mean, I've never worked for people like this. I don't even know how this happened. Because I manifested it. Because I deserve it. That's why. And I did it by using Saint Germain, karma releasing. Look at those two dudes. Powerful. And so, let's see what else. So yeah, you got to use your, look at the sky. It's so beautiful right now. And listen, we don't get a lot of good weather in Washington. It usually sucks. It's been depressing, and we have beautiful weather lately, and it is amazing. And I want to tell you, a while ago, before I did this YouTube, because I've been working with ancestors, I have a lot of trees in front of my window, and Spirit says those are my ancestors, and I've been talking to the trees. I know this sounds crazy, I don't even care. And right before I did this YouTube channel, gusts of wind were blowing, and Spirit says they're bringing in the ancestors. And now it's all still. It's going to be a beautiful day. Crazy stuff is happening. So let's talk about ancestors and why they're here, okay? Ancestor energy comes in to help us move forward, to help us release the past, to help us heal family genetics, right? My family is so fucked up, I can't even tell you. And I'm not talking about my uncles, right? My uncles have, they've been stellar fathers, stellar husbands. I'm talking about my mom, and I don't even know my dad because I don't even know. And I'm talking about my siblings, and I'm not talking about them being fucked up people. I'm talking about we're just so fucked up. We don't even talk. I haven't talked to my siblings. I'll probably never talk to my siblings again. That's just how it is. And it's sad because I have nieces and nephews, and they have kids, and it's sad. But I was a different person back then. I was fucked up back then, and nobody's taking the time to know me now. And I reach out, but I get no response, and so I give up. And that's okay. And then I start beating myself up, and then I'm like, you know what though? It's not about blame or anything. It's just this is how it is. You know, we had fucked up childhoods. And I'm sure it's hard for my mother to see that. I mean, I wrote my mother a letter when my grandmother died, and I just ended it. I just told her how I felt. She was a shitty mom. End of story. I don't care. I don't care how she takes that, whatever. She was. And she fucked me up, and my brothers and sisters. And as I grew older, I realized my mom was really fucked up. She had a fucked up childhood herself. She was in prison camp for a few years, you know, in World War II. But when you're a kid, you don't know that, and you also don't have the mental capacity to have compassion for that because you don't know about it. And also, you're a kid, you just want your mom to love you. I just wanted my mom to love me, and she never did and never will. I mean, and these are hard realities, right? These are, when I see people who have good moms and they're hanging out with their moms and like having lunch, and I'm like so envious, not jealous, envious. Like, wow, what is that like? Or a dad. I remember I was working at Pike Place Creamery, and her dad was coming down to have lunch. I go, you're so lucky. And she looked at me like, what do you mean? I go, well, your dad is coming to have lunch with you. I've never had that, and I never will. That's like, he loves you. He's coming down to this crazy Pike Place market to have lunch with you. I love it. And she goes, wow, I never thought of it that way. I go, yeah, that's a treasure. You're going to, take those moments. You know, if you have good parents, fucking, whew, you're lucky. Lucky. Like my cousins, Kitty and Marcy, because I know this is the family I know best, they have the best parents. My uncle and aunt are the best. The fucking best. And, we all deserve that. I get emotional. Okay, when I think about the love my uncle has for his family is so... Got my tissue. You guys know I'm a crier. It's funny, I can talk about my trauma and not cry, but I talk about love and happiness and I just start crying. So funny, huh? Anyway, back to track. Center. One thing about me, if you're new to my channel, I'm real as fuck. I've been doing this a long time, and I don't hide back who I am. I mean, I process things, and I feel things, and I let it out. And I do cry, because I feel it. I feel how much love there is, and it's so overwhelming that it just like, because I wish I had a dad like that, you know. Okay, but he's a great uncle. I love him. And he gets to retire soon, so I'm praying I get to spend a little more time with him. I'd love to have that happen. Okay, let's go. Surrender. Sky Dancers. This is one of my favorite cards as I look at the beautiful blue sky today. Sorry, you guys. Well, I'm not sorry I cry. I'm not sorry I have compassion and love, but... yeah. Sky Dancer. Surrender. This is about letting go and surrendering, and I guess it's surrendering to that emotion too. You know, every day I get up and I really stretch my arms up high like this, you know, and I put roots on the bottom of my feet and reach up to the sky. I use the sky a lot to heal. It's like a gateway to many things, you know, and I ask my spirit guides, ancestors, and loved ones to come in and walk with me and get me through this world, you know, and help me navigate to my life purpose. And part of that is surrendering to that, you know, and surrendering and trusting what spirit and your instinct are telling you, what your ancestors tell you to do. A lot of people hear that voice and they don't listen to it, right? They don't listen, like, and I'm guilty of it too. There's more crows. I'm guilty of it too, right? I'm guilty of not listening, and that always leads me down a very fucked up path. So I have realized that I have to listen, and so I do. So another one. So surrender. I can't even see it. Unmarked trial, revelation. Unmarked trail, I'm sorry. Unmarked trail. I haven't drawn this one before. Show me it, Spirit. The power, you know, Spirit's saying, I love this one actually. It's a pretty card. I love green. Help me out, Spirit. Let's get this message out, what people are going through. Okay. Spirit, thank you, Spirit. There's a lot of people right now thinking about who they are and where they want to go. And trust your instinct. Walk down an unfamiliar path. I'm walking down a really scary, unfamiliar path right now that is goodness and light and trying to work from the heart chakra, like on and feeling abundant all the time. It's scary as hell, even though it's all good stuff, right? And Spirit is teaching me to be a better healer, a better teacher, feel more confident in front of the camera. You know, I'm like, I don't want to put on a ton of makeup and do my hair and stuff. I just want to get the word of Spirit out and just share it. You know, if it comes to me, I have to share it. Like this morning, I'm like, I don't feel like getting dressed. I don't want to do video. And Spirit's like, throw on, you know, a comfortable sweater and just throw on some lipstick and go. And I'm like, all right. And here I am. But it's about becoming more comfortable with the unknown, with the uncomfortable, because some of you have to do that in order to fulfill your life purpose. You understand? In order to get that mission done. The world needs us right now. Look around. Every day there's 9 people dying in a shooting, 6 people dying in a shooting, 5 people dying in a shooting. That was just this morning in America. And that's all I saw when I clicked on my thing. I don't even read the stories. It just clicked on it and I shut it off. There's a lot going on. People are hurting. They want us to live in constant fear. And I know some of you have. It's scary out there. But if you trust Spirit and you trust your ancestors and you believe in yourself, you've got to get up and do the good stuff, because that is our purpose, to help each other, to give love. And sometimes innocent people get killed, you know. I mean, you hear stories where there's a mass shooting and a guy goes in and saves a kid but dies, you know, or you know, a little girl got killed because she was going to pull the alarm for her classmates, you know. And you think, how can that happen if there's Spirit, if there's God? I don't know if there's a God in religious terms, but how can that happen if there's a higher force out there? Well, I'll tell you what, we're at battle with good and evil right now, literally. So you have to pick a side, man. And the side you should choose is the good, because the good is where the power is. If you look around, negative doesn't produce anything. If you look at your own life, negative energy has produced nothing but negative energy. What if you switched it up? What if you took that road that was scary of the unknown? Holy shit, and it was good. And you learned the power of manifestation. All of a sudden, things started popping up in your life like that. What if that happened? Because some of y'all are thinking, what if I go out there and I get shot? Well, what if you go out there and all your dreams come true? What if that happened? Because if you sit there and live in this fear, you become, all that you see is fear and fearful situations. So it takes time for you to heal. Hi, Crow. It takes time for you to heal. Oh, that crow's dancing right. I wish I could turn the camera. But it does. And the more you watch my channel and my podcast, I jump from stuff to stuff. I'm in about 3 worlds at one time sometimes. It's crazy. So yeah, that's what happens. So you gotta change that. And the way you do it is by going down the unmarked path, by dancing with the sky, trusting the universe, by calling on your these teachers, these helpers. Even if you just put blue and purple candles on your altar, and you know what I mean? It's drawing in that energy, that healing energy. Color is very powerful. I'm learning more and more about the healing power of color, and there are healers who use color to heal. It's so cool. And so if you're one of them, I would love to have you on. I'm very curious about it. But anyway, so yeah, color is very healing, very powerful. So y'all, I've recorded podcasts and YouTube this morning, and it's only 6:30 in the morning here. So I'm going to wrap it up with this card. Beloved, radical acceptance. I love it. Thank you, Spirit. It's the universe. Right? It's got blue and purple in it. You know what's interesting? The other morning when I was doing my meditation and becoming one with the universe and understanding what that meant, I was in this gold-like ball, but I could also see my heart, like it was a red heart. It was so amazing. And I'd like you all to go into that space, find a good meditation on YouTube. I'm learning how to teach meditation. I'm trying to get the music to it and all of that. It's going to take me a minute, but there are plenty of people on there, on the YouTube and on podcasting that teach and do meditation. You can do it for free on YouTube. It's awesome. And I highly suggest you do that, because it really helps. I call it visualization, where I take time to visualize either healing my body, activating my brain, creating the life I want, seeing it, feeling it, all that, or whatever I need to do that day. And I highly suggest it. So thank you all for watching and listening, because this goes on my podcast too on Spotify. So thank you all. So let's do a morning stretch. And let's say out loud, I call upon my spirit guides to come walk with me and give me the strength I need to see with clear vision my own life path. I call upon my ancestors to come walk with me and help me see with clear vision my own life path. Thank you, Great Spirit, for everything you give to me. Thank you for all the lessons and the love. Please help me open my heart chakra today and allow me to feel abundance around me at all times. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you all for listening. I send you all love. Please reach out to me if you need help reading. Help reading? Sorry, it's someplace else. Help or with readings. My email is readingswithfaye@gmail.com. And if you want to be a guest on my podcast, my YouTube, please let me know. I'm looking for healers who do Reiki, healers who do tarot, healers who do cooking, healers who do whatever. I mean, art, whatever. I like all people. I love all stories. So reach out. I love you all, survivors, whoever you are, warriors. We're all a community, and I'm trying to build community, and it takes time, and but we got to start somewhere, and so do you. And your life and finding your life purpose takes time sometimes, but take the first step. Love you all.